Welcome to 1111 Tarot. I'm Danny, also known as Mama D, affectionately by some of our 1111 family. So if you are returning, welcome back, my beautifuls. And if you are new, welcome. This is not going to be a reading. This is going to be something very important that's going to make a lot of sense. So stick around. This is regarding the Summer Wells case. Now, I was guided to this website after meditating on the Summer Wells case. This is an article that originated, the date would have been February 12, 2013, 9 years ago. 32 convicted in federal drug trafficking probe. Now, as you can see, this is the Times News. U.S. Attorney William Killian announced during a press conference Wednesday in Rogersville that 32 defendants from Hawkins, Greene, and Sullivan counties had pleaded guilty in Greenville Federal Court to their part in a drug trafficking operation. Rogersville, prior to a massive federal drug roundup in Beech Creek last July, there were drug overdoses almost weekly in that rural Hawkins County community. Following a series of federal drug indictments and arrests in July 2012, however, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said the overdose rate in Beech Creek has dropped off to almost nothing. On Wednesday, U.S. Attorney William Killian held a press conference in Rogersville to announce that 32 federal drug suspects who were the target of a 4-year investigation had pleaded guilty on drug distribution charges in connection with those federal indictments. Those defendants are now awaiting sentencing. The investigation began in 2009 and targeted suspects in Hawkins, Greene, and Sullivan counties who were trafficking large quantities of cocaine and marijuana supplied by a drug trafficking organization in North Carolina. Let's just pause it right there. North Carolina, isn't that where we had Grandma taking Jose originally? Was North Carolina? Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I just feel that's important. Let's continue. The Beech Creek connection was allegedly distributing large quantities of oxycodone pills initially obtained from Nevada and later from a pain clinic near Atlanta. Authorities said Charles T. Lang, a part-time Beech Creek resident, opened the Liberty Wellness Pain Clinic in Norcross, Georgia, in 2010, and began using the clinic to obtain oxycodone for distribution in East Tennessee. In April 2012, the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration in Georgia raided the clinic and shut it down. Overall, the investigation netted more than 300 pounds of cocaine, more than 16 pounds of marijuana, more than 20,000 oxycodone pills, and $2.5 million in cash. Of those 32 federal guilty pleas, 23 were either permanent residents of Hawkins County or lived there at some point during the investigation. This illustrates the impact that drugs can have on a community, Lawson told the Times News. As a result of this investigation and aggressive prosecution, we went from almost weekly overdoses to virtually none since these federal indictments were handed down in July. These defendants brought this plague into their own community and profited while lives of their neighbors, their friends, and even their own family members were being destroyed. Lawson added, "We haven't finished in Beech Creek or other locations throughout the county, but we can say that as a result of this investigation, Beech Creek is a safer place to live. The 32 defendants who pled guilty include, you guys get ready for this one: William A. Lawson, 66, Rogersville; Randall Michael Lawson, 57, Limestone; James Light, 64, Rogersville; Kenneth A. Lawson, 45, Limestone; Tia L. Lawson, 40, Kingsport; Elia Marie Camacho Garcia, 30, Burlington, North Carolina; Brooke A. Lawson, 26, Rogersville; Jeffrey M. Bledsoe, 31, Kingsport; Jessica L. Lawson, 32, Bristol; Charles T. Lang, 30, Boynton Beach; Jackie D. Dykes, 48, Rogersville; Michael L. Dykes, 51, Rogersville; Lauren L. Lucille, 32, Rogersville; Lisa A. Crawford, 37, Rogersville; Virginia D. Ginger Light, 49, Rogersville; ASA Kermit M. Calhorn, 33, Rogersville; Steve A. Gooch, 29, Rogersville; Jonathan L. Light, 24, Kingsport; Jeremy R. Light, 28, Rogersville; Michael B. Dykes, 30, Rogersville; Daniel L. Dykes, 29, Rogersville; Christy D. Dykes, 32, Rogersville; Levi D. Love, 24, Kingsport; Shandita M. Compton, 31, Rogersville; Jessica R. Bernard, 23, Greensville; Cody A. Arnold, 27, Greensville; Joyce L. Malone, 35, Greenville; Christopher T. Tipton, 30, Afton, Tennessee; Abby M. Armstrong, 28, Greenville; Amanda D. Bernard, 23, Greenville; Christy R. Say, 39, Greenville; Marvin Neal Sutherland, 34, Greenville. Randall Michael Lawson faces a mandatory term of 20 years in prison and a maximum fine of $20 million. William A. Lawson, Kenneth A. Lawson, Tia L. Lawson, Brooke A. Lawson, or Brock, not sure, and Jessica L. Lawson each face mandatory terms of 10 years in prison and a maximum fine of $10 million. James Light, Elia Marie Camacho Garcia, and Jeffrey M. Bledsoe each face mandatory terms of 5 years in prison, maximum fines of $5 million. The remaining individuals each face maximum terms of 20 years in prison and maximum fines of $1 million. Additionally, Lang and Jeffrey Bledsoe both face consecutive terms of 5 years for firearm charges. Killian praised the efforts of sheriff's departments from Hawkins, Sullivan, and Greene counties. The 2nd and 3rd Judicial Drug Task Forces, Kingsport Police Department, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and DEA. Assistant U.S. Attorney Karen L. Hebetz prosecuted the cases. Now, most of them, with a 5 to 10 year sentence, correct? All right. 9 years would put us at 2022. If they got out at the 7-year mark, or even 5-year mark, 6-year mark, 7-year, most of them would be out. They are creatures of habit. They would be released prior, most likely, to Summer Wells going missing. You guys, I think this is important. It shows a lot of connections between the names, and it takes us to certain areas that we hear consecutively in the case with Summer Wells. Of course, we hear Rogersville. But how about Kingsport? How many times have we heard that? How about this North Carolina? I'm telling you, there's something to that. I'm just going over the list. Look at all the Rogersville. Kingsport, Rogersville, Greenville. Wonder what that's about. But that's where we have this Jessica R. Bernard. This is all public knowledge. It's interesting how they lumped all the Lawsons together. Randall Michael Lawson, William A. Lawson, Kenneth A. Lawson, Tia L. Lawson, Brock A. Lawson, and Jessica L. Lawson each face mandatory terms of 10 years in prison, which with good behavior, they could have very easily gotten out. I'm not sure how this relates or if it even is connected, but it does show connections where the names are colliding. We're seeing Bernard several times, as well as Lawson many times. What other names? Light keeps coming up. So with creatures of habit and Beech Creek being owned mostly by Bernards, it's interesting that we have, several connections to that name. Now, I don't know if these individuals are directly connected to any of the individuals in the Summer Wells case, but it's just giving you guys a little seed planted for you to check it out yourself and maybe, just maybe, spike somebody's interest into this to understand it deeper and then bring it back and show us. So I love you guys with all my heart. I pray for justice for Summer Moon Utah Wells all the time. I have my back is burning, so I feel like I'm being anointed that this information was being shared to me so that I could share it with you guys and inspire others to continue to keep Summer in the forefront, because it's always really about her. I love you guys to the moon and back. God bless you.